how you doing? We're gonna get this video started any second now. Don't mind the mess, by the way. I had a client tell me that she was bloated. And I said, well, you gotta eat fish and asparagus. And she went, huh? I don't know if it's like an old wives' tale. I do air quotes constantly. I don't know if it's like an old wives' tale. I don't know if it's like a just a family story in my family. My mother always told me whenever I was bloated, which I've been bloated since I'm about 10, that eating fish and asparagus for dinner will get rid of it. And it always does. Always. I'm not even just exaggerating. Always. So I told my client to eat fish and asparagus. And she said, oh, I had asparagus once. Once.
My mother grabbed me once. Once.
I said, why only once? And she said, oh, I liked it okay, but I don't really know how to cook it. I am just going to show you how to cook asparagus, okay? I made asparagus for dinner last night. I didn't film myself. I filmed the act of making the asparagus, and I'm going to narrate this for you now. Okay, this is my asparagus. It comes in a bunch. A lot of times it is in the grocery store. It is like standing up, and it is in a platter of water, maybe half an inch of water, just to keep it hydrated. It is a plant. So they want to keep it so that it's like almost continuously growing, not really continuously growing, just so that it doesn't, dry out. And it looks a little fibrous on the ends. I saw Martha Stewart do this one time. She said, how do you tell how much to cut off? You just sort of feel where you can snap it, and that's how much you cut off. And it's worked out perfectly for me. I have always done it this way now. I guess it was about 5 or 6 years ago. And so that's what I did to all of them. I just sort of feel where you can snap it, and then you snap it off there, and then everything left over is edible. Except for that one. That one looks awful. So we don't eat that one. So we have all of this left over. Now I paid $1.99 a pound for this asparagus. I did not wash it first because I don't want to weigh the water. But just out of curiosity, I'm going to weigh how much I'm throwing away. Now I ended up throwing away 5.5 ounces. So I didn't really throw away all that much, money's worth. It was not edible anyway. So I don't want to eat anything that's undesirable with asparagus because it's already not the sweetest vegetable in the world. It's kind of a fibrous, it's a little bit bitter. This ended up being pre-cooked 277 grams. A serving of raw asparagus, according to Take Shape for Life, is 67 grams. I don't know anybody who eats raw asparagus. Eating raw asparagus is amazingly awful. So anyway, I'm gonna put this asparagus into a strainer. I'm gonna give it a quick rinse because again, I haven't washed it yet. Okay, this is the pan that I always make my asparagus with. I've had this pan for about 12 years. I know it looks awful, but I make burgers in this pan. I do my fish in this pan, my heartier fish, salmon and that kind of thing. And I do my asparagus in this pan. I am going to not be grilling actually the asparagus, even though I'm using a grill pan. I'm gonna be steaming the asparagus using a grill pan. I'm gonna be putting a little bit of water into the grill pan, and then the asparagus is gonna sit on the grill nubs, the stripes, and it's going to be steaming in there. It's not boiling. So I'm gonna put in 1 cup of water. I don't even measure usually, but I know that people are gonna ask me how much water to put, so I just told you that that's actually a little more water than I would normally use. Normally I would use about 3/4 of that, and then I put the asparagus on top. I put the asparagus crossways, opposite of the way that the grill marks are going, so that not as much of the asparagus is touching the water. We really kind of wanted to steam more than boil. And I do everything with my hands. I cook with my hands as much as I possibly can without getting burned. So I'm just gonna use salt. It's Stop and Shop brand, Himalayan pink salt. It comes in its own little grinder. That's what I use. There's no other seasoning in here, except at the end, I'll show you, I do one little extra thing, but this is just salt and water. And now I'm gonna cover this up. I'm gonna let it steam for 2 minutes. When you're steaming broccoli, you know, it becomes greener. Same thing happens to asparagus. It just becomes a little bit more green. I'm gonna go ahead and steam this just for another couple of minutes. You stab it with a fork. If it doesn't go in there easy, I don't know, it's just by feel. Give it another 30 seconds. And that's it. It's done. Put it on a plate. That's all. So there's my chicken. And my lean and green last night was chicken and asparagus. That's it. No, I'm not in the weight loss phase, but that's still how I eat dinner. It was Monday night. It was not a special night. It doesn't have to be fantabulous every single day of the week, right? So I gave myself actually gave myself 4 ounces of chicken because I had some seafood salad early in the day. 4 ounces of chicken and then some asparagus. So I keep lemon wedges in my fridge at all times. I did a whole video about lemon wedges for my Meltdown Challenge team about a year ago. I should actually post that on my YouTube channel. And so I just keep these in my fridge at all times. Every week I'll cut up 2 or 3 lemons and I keep them in there. Citric acid is a natural preservative, so I don't have to worry about that going bad. And I just squeeze a lemon wedge on the asparagus. It's got that little bit of salt in there, lemon wedge. And because I had chicken breast and because I had seafood salad and I didn't have any condiments or fats or anything like that during the day, I'm gonna give myself a pat of Kerrygold butter. I have been turned on to Kerrygold butter for about 1.5 years. I don't buy regular butter anymore. Kerrygold butter is amazing. 1 pat, what is that? Half of a tablespoon, maybe? 1 tablespoon, maybe that is, okay? But it's that whole thing. Now, I'm not gonna eat that whole thing. That's for me and my husband. And no, I don't force my kids to eat asparagus, although I think that they would eat it if I asked them to. So doesn't that look nice? I mean, chicken and asparagus. Beautiful, gorgeous. And that's what my dinner was. So what is your lean and green gonna be tonight? That was mine last night. I gave myself about 30 or 40 stalks of that because cooked fresh asparagus, 1 serving is 90 grams. And so we eat 3 servings of vegetables for our lean and green, and that's about 10 stalks, so times 3, 30 or 40 stalks of celery, listen to me, of asparagus, okay? So don't be afraid of asparagus. My name is Andrea. I'm a certified Take Shape for Life health coach. If you have any questions about this or anything else, you can hit me up. All of my information is below. You can subscribe if you want to, if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on Facebook, you should know that I also have a YouTube channel that has videos that aren't always posted on Facebook. I do post most of my videos on Facebook these days, but I had 1.5 years of videos before I did that. There's actually 340 something videos on YouTube now, yay. So why don't you go over to YouTube, MetallicaMom, go check it out. The link will be in the description box. And subscribe there, and I will talk to you guys soon.